In his press conference, held exactly 1 year after office, President Pompidou clarified France's position on world problems. The Middle East.
Quant à l'équilibre des forces dont vous parlez,
As for the balance of forces of which you speak, France is convinced there is only one solution, and that is peace.
Une fois encore, nous ne cessons de le répéter, il faut faire la paix.
We must have peace in the Middle East. There is hope one day, despair the next, but it must be worked out. Otherwise, the balance of forces will be upset. And this balance of forces will be upset to the disadvantage, no matter what one may think of Israel. It is especially in the interest of Israel to accept a peaceful settlement. All of France's efforts tend towards this goal.
La conférence des quatre tendent à ce but, faire la paix.
Vietnam.
Je ne peux pas le dissimuler. Et je ne peux pas ne pas répéter.
As for Vietnam,
ce que j'ai d'ailleurs dit,
I can only repeat what I declared to the Congress of the United States.
à savoir,
there can be no peace in Indochina until the American troops are evacuated to the last man.
Auront pris d'eux-mêmes et volontairement la ferme résolution d'évacuer l'Indochine. Là,
that is the basis of everything. And starting from there, it can be hoped that all intervention, all unwarrantable interference will cease, and that the Indochinese states, the unfortunate Indochinese states, will finally be able to live again in peace, independence, and neutrality. And since everyone seems to be issuing appeals, let me also issue one. Pity for the people of South Vietnam, pity for the people of North Vietnam, pity for the people of Cambodia, of Laos, and perhaps tomorrow of Thailand. These unfortunate populations must cease to be the victims of rivalries which do not even concern them. That is the position of France. Europe.
Il faut être dedans ou il faut être dehors.
Either you're in or you're out. But even if you're out, certain arrangements can be made. We haven't reached this point. Talks have already started. We stated at The Hague that we were ready to offer a positive contribution to the negotiations, and we shall maintain this attitude throughout. However, France alone cannot do everything. France has just welcomed the youngest of the African chiefs of state, President Bongo of the Republic of Gabon. Having flown from Orly to the Paris heliport, he thence was driven to the Élysée Palace to meet President Pompidou. The aim of the conversations was strengthening the economic and cultural links between the two countries. Thanks to its rich subsoil and stable government, Gabon offers splendid investment possibilities to her European partners. The recently completed Trans-Gabon Railway permits working the mineral fields, and President Bongo had no trouble during the state dinner in Versailles in convincing his hosts of the vitality of his country. Techniques. It has already been 15 years since atomic electrical energy has left the laboratory and invaded industry, but the most economical production means have not yet been found. Only one thing is certain in this field. After the present intermediary stages, light and heavy water and graphite generating stations, tomorrow's stations will be of the rapid neutron super-generating type, such as the Rhapsody prototype, which has been operating in Cadarache for several years. Phoenix will be a high-power extrapolation of Rhapsody. It is being assembled at Goole in the south of France. The principle of this giant reactor is to produce more fissile material than it consumes, which explains the interest of this rapid neutron chain for the production of nuclear electricity. With Rhapsody and Phoenix, France is at the vanguard of European technology, and even of Asian technology, since she plays the role of advisor in Japan and in India. The construction of Phoenix and Goole will be completed in 2 years, symbolizing new techniques to meet the energy needs of the future. Youth and sports. Jean-Claude Dubois, French test parachutist, has taken the leap no less than 2,500 times. In order to break free from the routine of his job, Jean-Claude has just decided to present an exhibition in air meetings which goes back to the very first years of aviation. Acrobatics on the wing of a tiger moth flying at some 100 kilometers an hour. But Jean-Claude wants to do even better. Soon, he will go through this exhibition without any attachment between himself and the plane, ending it up with a precision parachute jump which will bring him to the very foot of the public. This is sport in the purest sense of the term. The French Swimming Championships and the European Championships in Barcelona will soon take place, and French swimmers are under intensive training in Vittel, the famous French spa. Menu, Didier, Juget, and Michel Rousseau listen to their swimming coach, Lucien Zintz, while former champion Hedda Frost trains the women's team, whose star is Claude Mondonneau. Michel Rousseau is number 1 of the men's team.
Alors, comment ça va? Monte?
Oh, bah, ça a l'air d'aller pas trop mal, mais enfin, c'était un peu dur, hein.
Après une bonne séance de terminée, tu viens de lâcher 100 mètres, le dernier 100 mètres de ta série en 1 minute.
Ah, bah, 8 secondes de moins, et puis je serai champion d'Europe.
Bon, champion d'Europe, encore pas du monde, mais il faut que tu travailles encore un peu plus pour ça.
Ouais, ça, je crois.
Bon, enfin, techniquement, c'est pas mal. Je vois qu'il tu manques un peu de battement de jambes. Il va falloir qu'on travaille ça sérieusement. Il a réalisé au mois de mars.
Rousseau was recently clocked in 53 seconds over 100 meters, which is this year's best European performance and the second best world performance ever, since the world's record, held by Frenchman Alain Godvalès, is 52 9/10 seconds. Michel swims 8 to 10 kilometers a day in the Vittel Olympic pool.
J'ai l'impression que les derniers mètres étaient un petit peu pénibles, là.
Ah oui, 75.
C'était trop court et tu prends pas assez l'eau. Mais il faut que tu fasses quand même un petit peu plus attention vers la fin, au lieu de te raidir et puis d'essayer d'y aller en étant toute petite. Il faut que tu t'allonges et que tu prennes bien l'eau, au contraire, même quand tu as mal au bras. Elle flotte bien, elle a une bonne synchronisation, c'est-à-dire le travail...
The same is true of Claude Mondonneau, who goes through a daily routine of 5 to 6 kilometers, intent on bettering her already splendid performances.
Chez les nageurs d'assez bonne valeur.
is pinning her hopes on Michel Rousseau and Claude Mondonneau. The arts. France is the country of artistic decentralization. Recently, at the confines of Burgundy, in a chateau near Avallon, an exhibition of contemporary sculpture was opened. In the gardens of the chateau of Ancy-le-Franc, the visitors could view the cleverly disposed sculptures. Luc Père demonstrated his environment technique, which plunges the viewer into the very heart of his work, a technique which netted him the Gavina Prize at the Venice Biennial in 1968. César displayed his giant thumb and his remarkable Christ of Gaumont. In Paris, the Salon of Youthful Sculpture was recently opened. In the orange grove of the Luxembourg Gardens, next to the Palace of the Senate, the most recent tendencies in sculpture were confronted with each other and with the public. Abstract art was king in this exhibition, which did not preclude figurative works. This is the tendency of our age.